Welcome. This is A Few Minutes with Mark. I'm Mark McCauley, and I am the founder of Kusa, which is a company that was started in 2016 to bring cannabinoid-based therapeutics to the masses where it's legal, at least in the United States. So the company was started after my mom actually reached out to me and said, hey, I'd really like to look at cannabis as a way to help treat my psoriasis. She has psoriasis, I have psoriasis, and I did not know that much about cannabis a few years ago as it related to the medicinal properties. So I started to look into it on her behalf to see if we could come up with a topical that, or a lotion, something to help treat the outbreaks with psoriasis and so forth. So she's been part of a study for, at least 40 years, most of my adult life anyways, and she's tried every lotion, potion, powder, pill, light treatment, etc., and cannabis was kind of the next frontier. So she reached out to me. I had some friends who grew, I had access to plant material, and I started going down the rabbit hole around the science behind cannabis and cannabinoids in general. So today we're in the shop. This is where we manufacture our products. This is where I do research and development. This is where essentially a lot of things happen as far as the R&D manufacturing process, etc. I spend an awful lot of time online looking at reference material, scientific studies that are available online. PubMed, if you want to search for PubMed, that's a website from the National Institutes of Health that has a plethora of information. A lot of it is very, very technical, so I'm going to just give you a heads up that a lot of this stuff you will spend some time going back and searching on the definitions of words, but it's all there, and that's a great resource because it takes all of the artifacts that are available today currently and some that are in pre-publishing states, and they make them available. So that's a little bit about how I got into this and what started to send me down the rabbit hole, my reference material and where I find it. And when I started on this, I had looked at obviously cannabinoids, THC and CBD, and what do those do, and what strain, and I had just a lot of questions that a lot of people have reached out to me and started asking me about. And so I decided to put together the video series to talk about this and try and provide some people some building blocks around the knowledge base that I learned, and also take out some of the technical information that's in these abstracts and studies that I read, and try and explain things in plain English to be able to help people and hopefully help them live a healthier and better life. So what I want to talk about right now is the endocannabinoid system. It's something that we have in our bodies much like a central nervous system. In fact, it works with our central and peripheral nervous system. But the function of the endocannabinoid system is to take cannabinoids, THC, CBD, CBG, some of these other cannabinoids that you've probably heard of, and to take the medicinal qualities that are in those cannabinoids and create homeostasis in the body. What that means is that the cannabinoids and our endocannabinoid systems, which we are born with, its whole purpose is to maintain a healthy state within the body, within our biological systems. That's what the endocannabinoid system, or ECS, does. So it's pre-wired, you're born with it, and unless you're ingesting cannabinoids, it's not going to be active, it's not going to be able to help. So if you happen to live in a legal state, or you happen to find your way to getting some cannabinoids, as soon as you start to ingest those, whether it's smoking, whether it's putting topicals on your skin, whether it's eating oil, eating flour, there's a number of different ways to get cannabinoids into your body, but it's going to activate your endocannabinoid system, your ECS, and your journey towards having a healthier state in your body is going to begin. So cannabinoids are designed to work with our body through the ECS. THC and CBD are the ones that are most prevalent, or at least most talked about, most studied. Those are the ones that most of the labs test for as far as the flower goes. But the cannabinoids are found in cannabis, this is what raw cannabis looks like. This has been obviously grown, it's been dried, it's been cured, and this is hemp. If you look at the two, they look very, very similar. The hemp's a little bit more yellow, this is a little bit more green. Could have something to do with the nutrients, or there's a lot of variables. But long story short is these are very, very similar, but they're part of the same plant family, the Cannabaceae family. Hemp has cannabinoids, as does cannabis. What makes hemp hemp is that it has less than 0.3% THC in these buds. The cannabis, the THC goes north of 30-35%, and there's a lot of breeding activity, some really cool stuff going on as far as the medicine goes. But both of those plants and that plant material have the cannabinoids at varying levels. So our bodies are pre-wired to use the cannabinoids that are in this plant that I extract, I make oil, and I put it into our lotions. So this was what we started the company on. This is actually the finished product. There were a lot of mistakes that went into this, a lot of trial and error, a lot of formulations, a lot of work with essential oils. Well, it's in a nice clean packaged bottle and it looks great and all that. The number of mistakes, fat lips and black eyes, as I like to call them, that went into that were pretty prolific. I also came out with a shampoo and a conditioner. These two, people were looking at me saying, oh wow, that's kind of cool, but really? Shampoo and conditioner? Well, again, when I started to study the endocannabinoid system and how do you effectively get the cannabinoids into your body, turns out the scrotum, sorry ladies, the scrotum is the most effective way to deliver cannabinoids. It's very absorbent, it's receptive to things. That's why when they give you testosterone patches for fertility for men and whatnot, they will typically give us men a patch, and we can attach that patch to the scrotum because the medicine can go into the bloodstream very, very effectively. For the rest of us, for the ladies out there, the scalp is actually the next most effective way to get cannabinoids into the body. Our scalps are very absorbent. If you've ever had an injury on your head, you've ever split your lip, you've ever got a cut on your face, your head, you bleed like crazy, like a stuck pig. Why is that? Because a lot of blood is circulating around the head. Why? Because our brains are there. Our brains take a lot of care and feeding and nourishing from oxygen, and everything is delivered through the blood. So we've got a lot of blood in our head, and the skin that's around our head, again, it's thin. Your eyelids are the thinnest skin in the human body. So for us to develop a shampoo and conditioner with the cannabinoids in it means that every morning I get to put some of this on my head. I get a wonderfully attractive mane that I have here, and it also helps my beard. But it gets cannabinoids into my body every single day. So I'm not a fan of getting stoned. I don't smoke weed. It's too much. But I do like using this every single day. Again, I want the cannabinoids in my body. I use this as a nutritional supplement to a large degree. And again, going through the R&D to get the lotion and then the shampoos and conditioners, that's where I started it, because there were a lot of people, again, older folks, typically my mom's age, that did not want to smell like a dead show. They did not want to smoke any sort of cannabis or hemp for that matter. And they didn't want to smell like it. They didn't want to get that rush. They didn't want to feel stoned. They wanted to be able to have a very mild effect, but still get those cannabinoids in to activate their endocannabinoid system. So that's the backstory and kind of at least a little bit about how we started this project and this company, was to try and help solve psoriasis. I will say from my own experience, personal experience, that diet has as much to do with being able to keep my psoriasis in check than the cannabinoids do. The two working together, though, my skin is as clear as it's been in decades, literally. So if you want to talk about that, make a request on our website, and maybe I'll spend some time talking about that in addition to just cannabinoids and the therapeutics that are available there. The other things that we get into, and it's actually one of our ingredients, is oil. We happen to make an oil that you can buy here in Oregon at dispensaries. It's called crude oil. Again, very primitive, very simple, very effective, very potent, as it turns out too. But it is cannabis oil that I package up in a syringe. This is a 3 milliliter syringe. I put a milliliter in each, and it allows people to take this oil and they can squirt it on their finger and just lick it, eat it. You can put this on your skin as well, and it's a great way for the ingestion of the oil. And again, get the cannabinoids in your system, get the ECS activated, and begin to create that homeostasis, that healthy environment in your body. And then the last thing that we've been playing around with and developing is tinctures. Again, lotions, okay, great. Maybe you don't like to use lotion, or it's really not going to be strong enough, or you want a different delivery mechanism. So you've got tinctures, which is it's an oral drops. It's you take drops of this, you put it under your tongue. We've got a dosing chart that's based on the cannabinoids that are in every bottle, in every dropper full, so it allows you to regulate your dose. Again, the most important thing, at least as far as this video segment is concerned, is to understand that you're born with an endocannabinoid system. It is inside our bodies. Everybody has one. Activating it can happen a number of different ways, and in the next video segment, I'm going to talk about some of those delivery mechanisms. So hopefully this has been helpful. Again, you've got an endocannabinoid system, activate it, hemp, cannabis, 2 ways to do that, and start feeling better. I will tell you from my personal experience, going from somebody who was incredibly overweight, pasty white, inflammation all over my body, to changing a lot of diet and the introduction of cannabinoids into my system, I am as healthy as I have been in years. So with that, thanks for watching.